Strange times, Rex Doherty and all at Solas Nua. This is Deirdre Kinahan here on St. Patrick's Day, reading you a piece that I wrote last year when I was coming out of an extraordinary situation, when I was coming out of treatment from cancer. And in a way, this pandemic reminds me of that time when I just had to live day by day, survive day by day, and get the most out of each day. And I wrote this piece called In the Middle of the Fields in honour of a brilliant short story writer called Mary Lavin, who wrote a lot about very strong women who were trapped within their circumstances. So I wanted to write a story for her, a performance piece for her, about a woman who decides, I'm going to bolt. Sod the begrudgers, I'm out of here. So this is this woman. Her name is Barb. I shut the door behind me, fast. The familiar click, then hiss of the rubber piece Sean put on the bottom of it in a failed attempt to keep out the draft. The ducks scatter as I hit the yard. Not Ferrari style, but more like a stuttering Ford. Still, I have me 2 feet under me. Never have I loved them more. Tenacious, enduring, clutching the earth. 1, 2, 1, 2. Forward march. At the pace of a tortoise, but moving all the same. The world is startled to see me at this hour, in my state, my face, into the wind. Even the cows seem to lift their heads in a curious munching. Cows have hairstyles. Have you ever noticed that? A bunch of curls between the ears, or a shock of rods screaming skyward, or the inevitable lick, cows lick, falling fast. I'd take it. I'd take e'er a hair on offer now. Because I haven't a screed. I haven't a thread. All taken. All lost to the nuclear cure in Cavan. The sun is up, and it's hot on my heels as I head to the fields, gently exposing my run. But sure, who's to look? Who's to care? In many ways, I'm dead already. The house is still behind me. Still it's still. Sean taking the rest on. Lizzie asleep with her baby and Jake gone. Jake backpacking. Open-toe sandals in an Asian forest or an Indonesian beach or a party island. Sending WhatsApps, sending waves. How are you, ma'am? Stay positive. He sent me a t-shirt. Cancer picked the wrong bitch. I don't know who Jake thinks I am. This gate doesn't want to open. This gate doesn't want to see me leave. The sweet pea I planted years ago and just keeps coming is opening now, flowering now. Blazing colours that twist through the iron bars in an audacious, grasping, seizing bind are broken now as I lift and I push with the good arm. 1, 2. 1, 2. Who knew that the bees might die if we didn't keep them in clover? If we didn't keep them in dandelion and daisies? Sean has left the side field slip into a meadow now, a haven for the bees, a sanctuary. The clumps of scotch underfoot don't undo me, but I totter all the same. Totter like a drunk in this field. Wish I was a drunk. A beautiful drunk on G&Ts or a pint of the black stuff. The pints of my youth in dark bars, mahogany snugs. I was a song lingering, lost in the crack of a counter. I met Sean in Keogh's at South Ann Street. He was up for the crack, up for the match. An honest face, thick pink lips, my clock ticking 34. Kieran had let me down, so I married Sean. Moved to Cavan. And it amazes me, still, the green of these hills as they stretch out before me, swallow me up, capture. Like that pastoral print locked onto our living room wall in Cabra. Because I had romantic notions of country, like we all do. Romantic notions of living in fields. Me dad thought I was daft. Cavan! It might as well have been the Congo. Dark, far, foreign. Too far from Clark's or Dalymount Park. Too far from all that made life worth living. He'll be lost without you, said Mrs. O.S., a neighbour of 30-odd years. And it's just the two of you since your mammy died. And she was right. He was lost. But still, he came up on the bus like he promised. And I'd make up the corner room, the one that overlooks this field. And I heard him often curse the muck, the hedgerow, and the green of these hills that stretched out before him, swallowing up his daughter. But then my children came, 1, 2, as they do, and that made everything and everyone brighter. I think I was happy then. Happy when life appeared to have rhythm and purpose. But was it ever really enough? Was I ever enough? Or was it just full? I can hear the stream now. Our stream. Rushing, gushing, skittering through to the loch where she can lay her head like a lady in that great whispering calm. I used to bring our kids as far as the scream, when they were small, for a picnic. I wonder will Lizzie do the same with Annie. Little Annie, such a gift in this darkness, such a gurgling, fitful roll of life. And Sean besotted all over again, holding her, the tiny, teeming, gleeful fat of her in his fine, strong farm hands. I miss those hands, rough from the hard ground, the crease of earth in every finger, and then a strawberry blonde down to soften and freckle. When did we stop being lovers? Why? What cold, hard border found its place between us? Under the blankets, between the pillows, and down to the foot of the bed. It's impassable now, that border. With little helicopters of caution hovering over, for fear of a stray arm or amorous turn in the confusion of sleep. And sure, what chance have we now? After this, all this disease, it's a curse, and it has driven us to the outer limits of love. Our love, such as it is, such as it was. My body is wasted. I move like an old woman. I have no desire. I am not. How could I, with no hair and no eyebrows and no left breast? Just a scarred up tennis ball resting in a cup of flesh. I feel like an exhibit in a Victorian circus. I feel I feel... What do I feel? If I feel at all. I have to sit down now. I'm tired. I'm going to sit by the edge of the stream. The grass is still damp from the morning, but there's heat in that sun. Blessed heat. Blessed. Like the small printed prayers a woman offered me on the oncology ward. There's always the few that turn to God, you see, and prove themselves most ardent followers. Like that new recruit last Thursday with the cockeyed wig who clicked and screeched the day away with decades of the rosary, voice rising in tempo as I desperately tried to ignore her. Holy Mary, through the teeth. Mother of God! Her nasal squelch as her anxiety hit new levels. I could feel her eyes dart in panic from nurse to nurse as her arm twitched and fingers flicked over plastic beads and cannula. I try to keep me head down. I try to pretend I am not there in that brightly coloured, disinfected ward, infected with dread. But then there's Moira, the fluttering vampire up from her chair. Are you awful sick? I am. God help you. What chemo is it they have you on? AC, I managed to mutter. Oh, Jesus. AC, the red devil. That's the worst. Brutal, that is. Have you lost your nails yet? I can't even bring myself to reply, but that doesn't matter. This is Moira's party piece, her moment. She's in her element. Well, they go black first, split, and then fall off. And there's the diarrhea. Oh, bless us, the diarrhea. And the mouth ulcers. Have you had the mouth ulcers? Terrified shake of the head. Ah, well, you will. Nothing surer. Like broken glass, right down your throat, and you can eat nothing, swallow nothing for weeks, and you can lose your teeth. Have they told you that you might lose your teeth? I am beyond responding now. And bone pain. Have you got the bone pain? At this point, my brain shuts down, and some angel of light in a nurse's uniform rises to usher Moira back to her chair. But she won't be stopped. She's off to explain to some other poor bastard the fate that awaits his tortured prostate. It's just her anxiety, says Dennis, my volunteer driver. Dennis is another angel. Everyone handles it different. What about my anxiety? I want to say. She ought to be barred, Moira. Withhold her treatment. Leave her lie in some cancerous twist at the end of the fucking world. But I can't manage a word. Not after my chemo. I'm just two bloodshot eyes looking out over a sick bag. And then there's them that seem to fly through, like Marianne, who strolls in here in her boots and her hair, like she's just arrived for a manicure. Muscle hard as rock, confident Balkan smile. She's pictures on her phone of her son and grandson. Not a bother on her as she straps up to the needle. They live in New York, and not a hint of loneliness. She'll go visit them when the cancer's cured. You'd never even know she was sick if it wasn't for the little colostomy bag. She disconnects. She marches out. I'd almost expect to see her ride home on a white horse or over the waves to her son in New York City. She's tough, all right, says Dennis. But you never know what's going on the inside, do you? No, I suppose you never know what's going on the inside. Who are all these beautiful, tragic people on the inside? Dennis volunteers to drive because his own wife died of cancer. Dennis never missed a treatment, but she died anyway. And I wish Dennis was sitting with me right now, looking into the cool, clear water of our little stream, because Dennis is blissfully calm, blissfully kind. He'd enjoy this little rest in the heat of the sun. I wonder how many women he drives up and down to the hospital. I wonder how many fall in love with him, like Egypt's, with his thick black hair and his pale blue eyes and his strong, willing, cradling arms. I don't know how my Sean can look at Dennis as Dennis helps me in from his car. Sean, who has never set foot in the oncology ward. Sean, who runs to his tractor rather than face, see, contemplate. Sean, who has failed me entirely and doesn't even know it. He says it's because of the farm. Always the farm. As if the farm would disintegrate if he went missing for a few hours of a Monday. Sean hides behind the farm in the same way Jake used to hide in the cowshed as a boy when he was in trouble. And we both know it. We just don't say it. I'm going to kick off my shoes. I'm going to stretch. Because I love the feel of the grass under my feet. There's something primal, connected. Will I make it across this stream? Why not? What have I got to lose? I'm too long here. Too long. My friends are Sean's friends. My neighbours Sean's. All I really have is the children, and they've embarked on their own lives. But where do I run? If, when I have the strength. When I get well, and I will get well, where do I go? Dad's house is long gone. Dennis? All I know is that I can't waste. I will not waste a second chance. I will not settle for this. No. So, here I am, in the middle of the fields. What now? Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Best of luck, everyone.